Welcome to another episode of A Bad Idea for Podcast. Today, I'm really fired up, absolutely hype, because I have a game-changing, electrifying guest. But before everything else, and as a Bad Idea for Podcast fashion, let me introduce you to today's guest, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to turning dreams into legendary moments, he is the king, the heat, the energy, the chaos. He brings it all. Tomasz Ciesierski.
You nailed it, mate. You nailed it. Thank you very much for a warm welcome. Welcome, everyone. You didn't even had any issues with the surname, which I'm very thankful for. So, and also for the courage of trying.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
All good. All good. New year, new challenges, new adventures. Let's see how it goes.
So let's get into it. Thomas, I want to know, first of all, sports are often described as a passion-driven industry. But for you, can you recall a specific moment that made you fall in love with sports?
I mean, it was a long time ago because I was a kid. I was, loving all the sports. When I was a kid, I was really into NBA and basketball because it was something new in Poland. So I was watching, Michael Jordan staying up, awake up like 4 o'clock in the morning just to see the game. And I wanted to be a basketball player, so I was training basketball. But then I would say Mother Nature made it call. I'm only 185, so I couldn't make it over there. I then started to train athletics because my coach in I would say it's not even like a school just we have before the high school over here in Poland. So I started to do that. I was training athletics for 8 years. And again, at some point I also knew I ain't going to be a Usain Bolt or a world champion over there. So I wanted to find my way, how to be next to the sports all the time and actually continue this passion into my professional career. So I said okay, I ain't going to be an athlete, so maybe I can, maybe I can manage somewhere else. And then again, I find my way to find a hiring in Legia Warsaw, straight out of studies as an assistant over there. We opened a new stadium. We organized an opening game against Arsenal, London, which was at that time when I was still pretty hyped about football, stars and all together. I was so close to it. And then again, those thrills, I want to do that. I want to do that. Then I moved to the National Stadium in Warsaw, continuing because the Euro 2012 was happening over there. And at the end of the day, finished in Polish FA for another tournament. First as a ticketing manager, then as a stadium operations manager. And then it followed. So basically, it's like a virus. Whenever you're going to catch it, you hate it when it's happening. But as soon as it's over, you start missing it and you don't feel comfortable sitting in one place. So, yeah, basically, again, there wasn't one moment, I guess. It was like a whole process. But then again, from the beginning, I knew it was something connected to sports. Maybe because of the emotion that brings to us, to our couches, to our homes. Probably because of this as well.
Okay. So throughout your career, do you have any moment when you doubt about yourself or your path?
Yes. As a fresher, basically, straight out of this Legia Warsaw, I was applying for a position in the LOC for the Euro 2012 that was happening in Poland. I even made it to the final for that position, but at the end of the day, they chose someone who was basically a little bit older than me with a little bit of more experience. And to be honest, again, it was first this kind of a failure. Again, not really achieving a success. It was actually shit, maybe I'm not that good. Maybe I should do something more. But then I came back to the National Stadium in Warsaw, where I was developed, met some people, also learned some things, and then I would say, better developed. But then again, there are always some moments when you doubt.
Of course.
Even when the Euro won, when we were working together, mate, I was having a lot of doubts during that project at the time.
Yeah, true. I mean, like even when we saw Fortuna, Fortuna Düsseldorf having the relegation match and everything, like it's like you have some doubts, right?
And again, but it's only people who make it right.
Yeah, true. True. And speaking of that, I mean, you work in some of the biggest sport events in the world. There was a moment for you when you look around and say to yourself, I can't believe I'm here.
Oh, sure. Of course.
Can you describe it?
I mean, like, it's usually when you have the first kickoff and you have the first pre-match ceremony, when you've already did, like, the whole grind to be there, to deliver, all the rehearsals, all the training sessions behind you, all the issues. And then finally you have this moment of, like, super nice music, the anthems are playing, and then you get the shivers on your back and saying, like, Jesus, like, so many people are watching it right now. It's so important to so many people, and we're doing that. It's so amazing. Yes, it's. But the biggest, I would say, like, whoa, I'm here. Is like when we had the, I would say, first kickoff in the World Cup in Qatar. It was France against Australia. So again, it was defending world champions playing in my venue, their first game, game of the day. So yeah. Yeah, it was nice. It's really, really, really nice when you stand up over there in the VOC, so Venue Operations Center. You look at it from above. You enjoy that moment,
yeah.
Especially when everything is falling into place. Of course,
Of course.
And you have the time to actually take it in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And speaking of that, like for many people that doesn't understand what a senior venue manager does, how can you describe it, like in 4 words?
It's like it's like a CEO of a stadium, I would say. It's like especially in the Euro 2024 setup, because then again we had 10 cities and only one HQ, which was in one of them. So I'm the highest representative of the tournament structure over there at the spot. So I'm like a regional director for a company that's having like branches in 10 different cities. So I'm the head of one of those cities, running the whole crew that delivers the operations on the stadium, which can be sometimes above 100 people. All of them experts on their own in their own fields, which is also quite tricky because then again you need to be a partner for them to talk about their issues, their problems. You need to understand what they are telling you, but you also need to learn to listen to them because then again they are the experts. Again, venue management is like we know a little bit about everything. Yet we can't be experts in everything as well, because again, then the scope of knowledge and the scope of expertise you would have would be impossible to take in for one person.
That's right.
So basically, you need to trust and know how to rely on your people. But then again, venue management is the guy who's basically trying to bring it all together. All the project leads, all the FAs, for them to cooperate and work nicely towards the same goal. And if in the same moment you can also, I would say, introduce some nice atmosphere and working conditions for the team to enjoy it. So it's like rather an adventure and a fun ride rather than a nightmare living in the day. Then it's a very good job. And if you did that, you're a very good venue manager.
So for you, like, what are the key elements to consider when planning a large-scale sporting event?
Well, it's like, there's so many layers of this, like, starting from, the I would say staging agreement that basically the country or the FA, the Football Association wants to participate and wants to deliver. So from this, negotiating all the aspects of the choosing of the host cities, financial model, then how we're going to do it on the venues themselves. Basically, when I'm joining already the projects, all of those, I would say, key elements are there in place. There is only slight adjustments that we need to do before we start delivering the matches themselves. Again, sometimes it's small adjustments, sometimes it's big. If you remember the issue with the hotel in Düsseldorf, which was incorporated in our stadium, well, everybody's seen that problem from the beginning. Yet, I would say the final solutions we had to, I would say, work it out over there on the ground with the hotel owners and the company that runs it. So again, sometimes you have everything in the book and you just need to follow. Sometimes you also need to be very, I would say, creative and flexible to deliver, exactly, to make it happen. And basically, because again, making it just happen is easy, but making it happen and also having all the key stakeholders, I would say, happy in the same time, it's quite challenging, because then again, it's a lot of compromises in a way. But then again, to be honest, the biggest and the most important part of every delivery are the people, the staff. Without this, you can't do anything. I mean, like, I can be the best venue manager in the world. I can do tons of stuff on my own, but if I don't have the people to help me and back me up, I can't do anything. So the biggest and important asset of every, I would say, great tournament delivery are the people that work for it.
Okay, so you're speaking about the biggest asset, right? The staff, the people who surround you, and the team you have in your charge or behind your wing. But how do you manage and motivate those people? How do you manage it? How do you motivate people?
Well, you need to listen to them. And once you listen to them, you get to know them. When you get to know them, it's easier for you to understand what they're coping with, what they are struggling with. They also trust you more when you approach them with an open mind, open heart, and basically with an inclusive approach. So everybody are on board. Everybody can I would say, add to the meeting whatever they want. They can always take voice. They always can come and ask questions. My golden rule: there are not cool, stupid questions. Sometimes the answer might be, really a little bit disappointing, but there are no stupid questions. Yes, don't anticipate. Better ask twice than making a mistake. And if you, I would say, start bringing those people into this kind of atmosphere, and also you always you always trying to work around, and even if you personally don't have a best I would say mood, because then again, we all people, we have different moods and the projects are long. I always try to keep positive, and if I really can't, then I just try to avoid people, not to, I would say, disencourage them or whatever. Yeah. But it happens really, really rarely when those moments happen. But so again, it's just being open, honest, and true. And being yourself, allowing also people to be themselves. And also, again, my biggest, I would say, KPI and deliverable is to trust my people that they're doing the job as it's supposed to be done, because they know better, to be honest, at the end of the day. So I'm always asking, you tell me the perfect solution. Let's see what we can do on this and how we can manage that with other, I would say, stakeholders which are connected to that issue. And then just talking to people and asking about, their best ideas, and bringing it all together sometimes brings you the best possible results. And then, everybody are happy. Everybody feel included in the decision making. Just need to be open and sometimes walk around and joke a little bit. Again, you also need to have a huge amount of distance, I would say, towards yourself, towards the things that we do. Because sometimes, the very serious stuff is, sometimes sounding very serious, but at the end of the day, when I would say, you put it onto a single bullet points or whatever, it's starting to look ridiculous. For example, you need to do it like this because someone invented it like this. It doesn't really work on it. I would say, this method, for example, doesn't really work on our venue. But again, someone implemented that, so let's see what we can do to make it work on our venue. And if we have fun on the way, just making a little bit of jokes out of that, then I think it's just a good thing to do.
Now, most of the people know that in this type of events, like in the World Cup, Euros, Olympics, and so on and so on and so on, there's people from all over the world. So for you, how do you think cultural differences impact venue management across different countries?
You need to be very tolerant and also aware that people from around the world, they are different. And the difference between them, it's the power. It's something that drives the team forwards. Because then again, if everybody are the same, then, it doesn't really create I would say, a space where we can grow, when you can have I would say ideas out of the box. Again, you need to be just tolerant and inclusive. Also be aware of those differences, so you don't make any stupid jokes, I would say, that will be very, amusing for 90% of the team, but then the other 10% of the team will feel offended. So you need to be also very careful. It's sometimes like walking on a minefield. You want to be aware of that. And then again, it's also connected to the countries that we are bringing the tournaments to. It's like one of the things that the layers of the cultural differences within a team, where we can have, as you said, like you can have the team spread across from Brazil to Baku, for example. And all of them different languages, different traditions, different cultures. But it's also one of the biggest factors is the culture and the environment of the host country that you're running the project in. Again, I run the project in Qatar. It was completely different than in Germany, for example. And it was completely different than, in Indonesia, where I was working for 3 months as well. Okay. So as soon as you come over there on the ground, it's really, I would say, advisable for you to get to know and be aware of those differences, spot them, and then try to figure out how to use them to your advantage.
Okay. And now, what do you see the future of sports venue management like heading into the next decade?
There is more and more technology coming into our place. VOCs are equipped better and better every single time, from the tournament to tournament. Again, for example, the novelty from Qatar was the CCTV cameras that we had on the drones provided by the police force over there, which was a great comfort, because then you can literally move the cameras wherever you want, however you want, high, low, left, right, whatever, and it gives you the comfort of actually running the operations. Again, in Germany, there was a huge emphasis on the sustainability part of the tournament. Yeah. And I think this is also another, I would say, new direction, still not really developed from our side, from the tournament side. So then there was going to be a huge impact on, I would say, an emphasis on this one for the tournaments to be more and more sustainable, which I agree with, because then again, we shouldn't be ruining the environment just because we're playing football and organizing that. So this one, and then of course the artificial intelligence. I'm just waiting for them for this to take over. Hopefully, thankfully, my job is really with the people, not really with the I would say, producing lots of high-profile documents rather than. So I'm still hoping that I'm still going to be able to beat the AI with this one. But then, to be honest, support that we can get from this, I only see this one as an advantage, as an advantage that's coming.
Yeah. Okay. And now, you mentioned the technology, of course, artificial intelligence, and as a personal experience, working for ESPN and working as a TV producer, during the pandemic, I never thought in myself that producing a show would be possible from home, with people sitting in different parts of the world, right? But for you, working in venue management and in event management, how does this part of the sport change after the COVID-19 pandemic?
After the COVID-19, again, as you said, this suddenly everybody around the world figure out that we can just talk online and basically have the same conclusions, and then we can push the projects forward without actually meeting in the flesh and without spending 12 hours in the office. Well, this is a great advantage, because then again, it gives you even more freedom and more flexibility on which projects you want to work on. Depending on the partner, if they're willing to give you that option to work on remotely or online. But again, in my profession, it's really at some point it's really important to be over there on site and on the ground with the people who work on the venues and deliver. So, during the pandemic, we weren't able to meet like this. We had tons of protocols, which was again, additional procedures and additional stuff to attend to. So to be honest, again, we are still having this remote option, which is a blessing. Thank you very much that it remained. I know that there are still some companies that try to revert it back in order to get that kind of like false sense of control that everybody are working as they were supposed to work.
Yeah, true.
But again, this is the thing we've been talking about this interview as well. It's about the trust that you extend to your people.
Yeah, true.
Again, they are professionals. They're grown-ups. They don't want to screw up. Just give them a little bit of freedom and they will do whatever you want them to do, just like in their own pace and time. So yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, now, like, we're almost done with the podcast with this episode, but for you, Thomas, what are your biggest inspiration, either in sports or in life?
Oh my goodness. I wasn't prepared for this one. That's out of the box. The biggest inspiration in professional life. I mean, like, I'm again. There is not one like moment or one person that I was like trying to step into their shoes or like be like them. But it's like I was pretty lucky with the managers I was working with, who were my bosses. So from the first one, Rafał Głowacki at the National Stadium in Warsaw taught me a lot about how to talk to people, he was a hospitality specialist and expert. So a lot about the catering, how the kitchen functions, and all the hospitality service, all those little tweaks are coming from him. Then the next one was a salesman. So I was learning how to actually sell the stadium to the clients. Again, I was really lucky with him. And then the people who you meet on the way. So, for example, my great friends from venue management, I just like look at the other venue managers, like trying to figure out what they're doing good, what they're good at. And then if I like see in myself that I don't have it, or I'm doing it in a way that's maybe theirs is better, I'm trying to adjust. So again, another person, probably Yanis Tsufras, my great friend. He was also a venue manager in Euro in Hamburg. Thiago Paes from FIFA. Julia Avelar, who is right now the director of competitions in Brazilian Football Federation. So yeah, looking at all of Alex Clerc, Daniel Robles, all of those guys who are Antje-Stolp, who are all of those people who are really more experienced than I am. For many of them have 5 or 6 World Cups in their portfolio. I only have one, so I still have somehow I would say authorities to look up to, which I'm trying to do. And whenever I'm with them, I'm trying to observe and learn. That's how it is, I guess.
Okay, speaking of that, because this is on a personal note. When I came to Dusseldorf, I thought to myself, or I said to myself, I have a lot of experience because I have this guy right here on the back, and I have quite some experience on TV and so on and so on. But when I start seeing the curriculum and the resume of you and all the people, like all the colleagues working there, was truly impressive, truly amazing. Like I was like, wow. I mean, I cannot describe it like with a different word, but
so see, whenever I hear this kind of things about me, it's really humbling, and I'm really like a little bit, I would say like do you know that feeling when everybody is like singing you a happy birthday and you don't know what to do with your hands and all that stuff? So this is basically the same. So it's really nice. However, it really makes me feel like, guys, I'm not doing really nothing special. I'm just like trying to help you out. I'm trying to be myself, trying to get introduce the nice atmosphere and some jokes around. So from my perspective and my point of view, I'm not really doing anything special. I'm just trying to help you guys out and all my team.
But wait, Thomas, because the thing is, you're saying that you're not doing something special, but anyone in the world could like do anything to have your job, being completely honest.
Yes and no, because then again, there are pluses and minuses of this kind of job. Like, for example, I'm still trying to find another project that I'm going to be working on.
No, I know. But when you said like, oh yeah, you know what, like, I was working for the World Cup, and then I do the Euro and the Olympics, and I do this. And
I was really lucky with this one, Mike. I was really lucky.
Everyone was like, oh, wait, what? This is the thing that people do, right?
Sometimes, again, you just need a little bit of luck. It's just because I had the pleasure to work with the guys from FIFA who were then delivering the World Cup in Qatar. In 2019, we had the U20 World Cup men's in Poland. And apparently they liked the job I was delivering over there. And out of completely out of the blue, I was really enjoying my honeymoon with my wife when they just completely called out of the blue and said hey, do you want to come to Arab Cup and basically have you venue manager over there? And I was like, yeah, sure. Where do I need to go? I'm going to be there in 3 minutes.
Yeah, wait. But what? Okay, this is funny. What does your wife said about it? When you had the call, oh, Thomas, can you come to Qatar?
Well, I was really unemployed at that point, so she was really happy.
Okay.
But then again, I was. It's also quite funny because we were literally married for 3 months, and then I left the country for another 3, and then another year for the World Cup. So yeah. But then again, you also need to be quite lucky. Again, it's like with sports. It's not only being good, but it's also the circumstances you need to be lucky with, and sometimes it's just this kind of the moment. You need to be in good place and a good time, and you need to be available.
Yeah. Okay. So second to last question: if you could sit down with your younger self, just starting out in this industry, what advice would you give to him?
Learn more languages.
Okay, which one do you want to learn?
Oh, Spanish, to be honest.
Spanish. Okay, it's the easiest one.
Oh no, everybody's saying like this, but to be honest, again, languages will probably help you a lot in that industry, because then again, the tournaments of traveling sometimes to the countries where I would say English is not the most popular language around, and as a venue manager, you need to really, I would say, be able to sit down and I would say discuss and reach some common conclusions with everyone, whether it's going to be the most junior, I don't know, even janitor, to the most high-profile stadium directors or FA leaders, whatever. And if that's the case, then yeah, you also seen me, I would say, struggling sometimes in Germany when I would say my counterpart wasn't speaking English. So then again, it's challenging, it's manageable, but then again, knowing the language is definitely a huge asset and a huge help. What else I would say to myself, younger one? Be patient as well, and just exactly observe the more the wiser and more experienced guys. Try to replicate whatever they're doing. Be patient, because then again, don't expect everyone to treat you as an expert from the beginning just because you're doing that. You need to establish yourself as a one. Be humble, and don't ask for don't expect someone, for example, to give you another appointment, another offer, another job just because you were working nicely with him on the first one. One very wise venue manager told me once, is just work hard. Try to like all the people around you, and basically don't have any conflict with them. So if you can't just like them, at least don't antagonize them. So try to be positive, and then the good offers will come.
It's true. It's a good advice. Okay. So for the last part, I want to do two dynamics with you. Okay. So I want to give you one word, and then I need you to give me the first word that came to your head. Okay. Okay. Poland.
A mess. Joking.
Okay, Poland. Yeah. Okay.
Poland. Again, my home country. I love it. Yeah. I really miss it when I'm abroad. To be honest, you can take me out of Poland, but you can't take the Poland out of me. That's for sure.
Okay, that's a good one. The World Cup.
Emotions. Great emotions. It's always great emotions, again, from various points of perspective, for the players, for the fans, for us organizing that. Yeah, it's always great thrill, great emotions, great adventure, and great memories.
Okay. Stadiums.
Oh my goodness. Too many words are just Stadiums. My job, my home, to be honest. Do you remember in Düsseldorf when I was referring, I'm going when I was going to the office, sometimes I was I'm going home. Sometimes it was like a Freudian slip. I'm going home. Yeah. So yeah, at home.
Okay, nice. Now, family.
The most important thing.
Okay. Thomas.
Oh my goodness. I'm just a ginger bloke that walks around, talks to people and try to solve their issues.
Okay.
No, I'm like, again, I like people, and I like when people like me. So I'm also trying to always try to, I would say, be friendly with everyone.
Okay. So the last question. Do you know the name of the podcast is A Bad Idea for Podcast, right? So it's time for you to share a bad idea that in the end turns out to be a good idea.
Well, that's a very hard one, because usually the bad ideas are just like, this is the like bad ideas and period, and that's it.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, true.
Bad ideas that eventually turned into a good ones. Really hard one. Really hard one. I'm like, I don't have it, right? I only have bad ideas that remain bad ideas.
Okay. I mean, it happens, right?
It happens. I mean, like, again, bad ideas that eventually turned into something good. Okay, I would say like this, man. Just before the World Cup in Qatar, since Lusail Stadium didn't have it already had a couple of test events, but I would say the LOC wanted to do another one. So they were trying to investigate the possibility of having like a music festival, but not only in one of the stadiums, but also spread around the whole Doha. And my stadium was supposed to be one of four of those stadiums. And at that time, like literally my venue was like a dugout. It was still like, some trenching being done, some sewage being connected over here and there. Everything was under construction, and there was an investigation of how we can manage to put over there a concert for at least 10,000 people. Well, thankfully, at some point they dropped the idea and we didn't have to do it. So basically, that was the bad idea that turned into something good. So at the end of the day, the idea was dropped. The stadium was tested enough, and I guess everybody who came to Qatar for a World Cup, they were really happy about I would say, the event experience and the operations that we provided over there.
Okay, that's a good one. So, Thomas, I really appreciate your time, your energy, your everything that you came and you bring to this podcast and this episode.
Likewise from my side, my friend. Working with you over there in Germany was a pure pleasure. I'm really enjoying this interview and the podcast. I will be probably listening to the other episodes, so carry on. And thank you to everyone who will be listening to this one. If you want to connect, you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can ask Juan, and he will give you my number.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.
Thank you, man. See you around.
See you.